Great. Thank you and good evening. Welcome to the Holly Township Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Today is Wednesday, January 14th, 2026, and it is 6:31 p.m. Thank you all for joining us. And with that, I'll call this meeting to order and ask that we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I always like seeing the pledge. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Next is roll call. I know our secretary has asked to be excused. So for that, if we don't mind, can I ask the vice chair to please call roll?
Of course. James Bias DeSessa,
Present.
Jeffrey Carl,
Present.
Cindy Earle, Joe Hutchins, James Wright, here. 4 present. We have a form.
Thank you, co-chair. Miss Earl, our secretary, did ask to be excused. She did write a note to us all, and she did speak with both myself and the manager, and she did ask to be formally excused. She has some uh, items she needs to attend to. With that, do I hear a motion to please excuse Cindy Earl, Commissioner Earl? Is there a motion to excuse Commissioner Earl?
I motion excuse Commissioner Earl.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Carl. Is there a support or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wright. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Okay, next is approval of the minutes. This time we're looking at approving the minutes for December 10th, 2025. Is there a motion?
I make the motion to accept the minutes of December 10th, 2025 as submitted.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a support? Commissioner Wright makes first motion. Is there a support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Carl. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passed. Next is item number 5, approval of the agenda and or changes to the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as submitted, or does anyone have any changes they'd like for us to consider for the agenda?
I'll make the motion to accept the agenda as submitted.
Thank you, Commissioner Wright. Is there a support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Carl. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. Thank you. Next is item number 6, public comment. So at this time, members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson for the items listed on the agenda only. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public are asked to state their name, street name, and town. I see no members of the public at this time, but I want to make sure that at least people know that this is available to them. So hearing no public comment, let's please move on. We're moving on to item number 7, old business. First item is to discuss the joint parks collaboration with neighboring communities if they chose to participate. Now, before I turn this over to our manager, I know that it's under old business because we have discussed this matter before, and I think we spoke of it in a favorable manner. However, we'd like to just further confirm that and maybe discuss anything that the commission would like to address in terms of what do we mean by collaboration. So with that, I'll turn it over to our manager and she can elaborate a little further.
It,
Madam Chair, I'm sorry
Excuse
to
me.
interrupt. I'm seeing Manager Blanchard's microphone is not working. Can you give
Okay.
me a quick second?
Yes. Let's recess for just five minutes.
Thank you.
Recess, please. We should be back. There we go. Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate your help, and I hope the audience can hear us clearly. Now turning over back to Manager Blanchard. Please proceed.
Okay. We did talk about this last month, having a collaboration between, or seeking a collaboration anyway, between Holly Township Parks, Village of Holly Parks, possibly Rose Township Parks, and possibly Groveland Township Parks. And the reason that we would like to pursue that is because I just got this report from Jen Ryan, the treasurer for Holly Township Parks, which also collects tax fees for the village of Holly and Holly Township for what they send to Oakland County Parks just for the tax roll of 2025. They're expecting to have to send $326,551 to Oakland County just for our two areas. And that's a lot of money. In fact, that's significantly more than what Holly Township Parks receives from our own tax dollars of a $500,000. And so we think that it's well worth pursuing. And at a recent sustainability conference, I did roughly speak to Tim Price, the manager for the Village of Holly, and Kevin Scramlin, the supervisor for Groveland Township. And they both said that they would be willing to sit down and have a conversation just to see if there's any possibility of uh, collaborating. Today, I went to Oakland County Parks. They had a program called Mission 26, and they were putting it on because they want input. They want input as to what communities want for their parks, but they also want to know who they can collaborate with. And one of the things that they're looking for are groups to be able to do programming with and also have a physical presence. They're right now doing a lot of work on doing some rehab to some existing parks in different communities that in the past have been underserved. But I would say that North Oakland County has also been underserved as far as Oakland County parks. So uh, what I think Commissioner Hutchins and I wanted to bring this back to the board because last month I failed to put that on the agenda to actually have a vote of support for pursuing a collaboration of those four communities. And so I think I would like to hear what the commissioners have to say and if you are in support of pursuing this. And any decision, of course, would be coming back to the um, commission as well. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Manager. Are there any discussion from the commission at this time regarding this matter?
This could possibly take the place up and support even our efforts and grants.
We could collaborate with the various, say, cities or villages. And say, for example, if we were interested in a park project, we could collaborate with them. We've done that before in the past. As a former city manager, I've worked with other cities to do road projects and things of that nature with surrounding communities so that we can get matching funds. And each community would contribute a certain portion to get the project done. And then, of course, we can add that as a matching fee to get the grant. And
So just so I'm clear, the collaboration is with our neighbors, including the village, and not necessarily from Oakland's pool to us individually, but all four of us.
I think right
well, I
now,
think we have an actual good example of a collaboration like that with Southern Lakes Parks and Rec
mhm,
through Genesee County, because Fenton Township, Fenton, Linden, and I'm not sure who the fourth one is, but they are already currently doing that through Genesee County. And Joe has mentioned that Grand Blanc and
that's what I was going to
Grand
say.
Blanc Township and Grand Blanc schools also have a collaborative effort like that. So the other thing that Oakland County Parks is doing is that they are doing some outreach to schools as well to possibly bring parks to the schools and that. So I think there's just possibilities that we can go for.
I see a lot of educational type of activities that we could use with the schools in particular if we were to collaborate with the schools and the universities. I mean, we already work with Michigan State on several projects here in our current parks. We collaborate with other entities such as the Bee Association to do certain things. Uh, Again, to help learn. I'd like to see our understand more about nature as well. I think that would be outstanding. So I don't have I fully support the collaboration of working with other entities. And all I ask is that the manager, if there's a contract of some sort or there's a cost, then this is something that we may have to look at in our budget or get formal approval to do so. Um, Personally, the way this agenda or this item is written, it says to discuss. So we don't really have the motion to or an item that says to approve unless somebody else would like to make that. We can do that if you must have a vote. Personally, I don't think we need to vote. We can just tell you if we have a majority of the people here, which I think majority of us, again, just looking around, I think this is something that we would agree to work with, especially with our schools. I see so many possibilities here within our schools that we could work with. We can work with them on science.
You know, one of the things that was brought up in a small group discussion at
Mhm.
this Mission 26 thing today, and they said that one of the important things, because schools and teachers are so overloaded with what they have to provide in their curriculum,
Mhm.
is actually to work with schools prior to planning something and ask them
Mhm.
what would fit their curriculum
Mhm.
so that you're not wasting time
Mhm.
or resources on creating something and then them not being able to use it.
Mhm.
So I think that makes sense to reach out to them and see what possibilities they
Mhm.
see and how we can make that work
I
together.
mean, we could attend one of their board meetings, their PTA meetings here in Holly, uh, for our school district, and we can tell them. And one of the things that I've heard time and time again about this beautiful park of ours and beach area, uh, where they were not aware that it was here. They pass by it every day on East Holly Road, and they don't understand or have didn't even imagine as to how big. I mean, we have 92, 93 acres here, and
93.
93 acres, and we have some of the most beautiful land, untouched property. And when I think of the fact that we live right behind or in front, however you want to view it, of the Shiawassee River, and it's within not even a mile's distance to some of us, for some of us, I should say. Um, and for the students, some of the students do not even know this. Um, it's tremendous. Yes, with the schools, I think we'll have to work with them ahead of time so that they can work on their curriculum to develop it a year in advance. But many times, at least I remember when I was in school, we would go on park outings, and again, I would learn, more about some of the parks in the area. I think that would be a tremendous opportunity for the schools. Again, I don't think they know what they're missing. The other thing that I see is some of the other recreational programs that we could potentially start developing together with them, so that uh, we can all come together. I think a lot of this with collaboration, we're not looking to take over a certain group, and that's something that I want to make very clear. I just want us to work together so that we can provide the best services we can for the people that are here in our area and beyond. We have many visitors, not just from Holly, but from out of state, that come and see our parks, and they're surprised that our own residents aren't aware that this is here right in their own backyard. So, I think for the most part, most of the majority of us have or concur that yes, we would like to do this, and all we ask our manager is to come back to us should something come to fruition, and get it approved. And so I say I don't think we need to make a motion unless somebody wishes to make a motion. Again, the only concern I have is with the way it's written in our agenda is to discuss joint collaboration. Uh, so just thinking on the rules, if we can amend that to approve or to take a vote, unless someone agrees that we don't need a vote, then that's fine too.
Yeah.
Commissioner Wright.
Yeah, I was just wondering, first of all, I just want to say I concur with everything you said. I think the fact that we are in Northwest Oakland County, we're sending more money to Oakland County parks than we have budgeted for
Oh, mhm.
Holly Township parks. And we don't have an Oakland County park near in this area. So I think that anything that we can do to enhance the accessibility of the parks for everyone involved, I think is a good idea. As for the procedure, I think that because we have nothing to vote on, I think it would be just giving direction to the manager to continue working down that road is sufficient.
I agree. Agree. Okay. Um, Commissioner Hutchins, is there anything you'd like to add?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Carl, anything else? Oh, I know lots of ideas.
I'm
No, uh, you and I've discussed a lot of ideas that we'd like to see this park do. I mean, I have a ton of ideas that I would love someday to be able to expand here within our own parks. This is a beautiful piece of property, and while I'd like to see many things happen here, I also want to be very cautious to not lose some of that resource that we have here. I don't want to place it in any kind of danger of losing. I think I've shared with you all, as a former city manager, I've managed cities that have hundreds and hundreds of parks, but these parks have always been parks that are in the downtown or in a residential area. Unlike this park, this is more of a nature park where it is still, you know, very wild, for lack of a better word here. And it's untouched, as I said, and the things that we could do here. I've always wanted to do a night program here where the students can study the stars. That would be tremendous. I'm surprised that many of the schools don't use this, not just our own school district, but other surrounding school districts as well. I think it would be tremendous to have campouts and things of that nature here in this area again. Would be another thing I'd like to see done. It's such a beautiful area. And I know you were at another park, but we'll discuss that later. And there's so many things that we've learned that we can do. So, so Madam Manager, without any further ado, unless there's any other comment, I think you have direction from us. We would like for you to proceed with this, and of course, until we have something to vote on, then bring it back to us. And at that point in time, we will make some decisions. But for the most part, I believe you do have our concurrence to please proceed. And I think many of us could, if we need to come with you or to go with you to help with that support, just let us know and
Okay.
we'll do our best. Okay?
Yep.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Let's move on to item number 7B. And this is discuss possible meeting dates for attorney interviews and procedure for the interviews. So, yes, that's item B. Item B. The right one? Okay. No, 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 nope. B. So, this is something that we budgeted for. There's so many things that have changed that, unlike in the past, we now require a little bit more formal review when it comes to contracts. And I'm very proud of the fact that when we all first came together, we since started to do that to develop contracts. I know that in the beginning, perhaps some of the entities were a little hesitant to do it, but I think after they started, then they saw the plus in doing this agreement. And in other words, it's not just a contract that will help protect us and the people that we represent, but also themselves and the folks that they represent as well. There is a contract that we still need to do with disc golf. That's something that I know some of you have brought to my attention, and we need to get that started. We need to get started on the agreement with Little League again this coming year. With the B Association, I think it's annually, but we can look at it again
It is.
so that we can, if there's any improvement that we need to do there. Uh, we just approved an agreement with our
Bookkeeper.
contractor for bookkeeping services. So we need to make sure that that's all said and done. And all I can say is I just want to thank the commissioners that were here before us. They did a tremendous job in making sure that they got what they needed in terms of the services that they provided for this organization. And somehow, they were able to bring it all together. So I thank them for that. But now, in today's world, I think we need to take it just one step further. And I think that this legal attorney will help us. Now, what I'm looking for here is just simply for dates, because we've got five people here, and we'd like to sit down and meet with them, just so you all know.
I'm sorry. How
Unless,
many did you say?
well, there's five of us. One, two, three, four, five. No, you two. I mean, in terms of commission, you two, obviously, Madam Manager, you are always invited to all our meetings, and that's to say. But because we are uh, elected or appointed, then we would ask you to please post this. Now, the other option would be for this commission to decide to maybe just appoint a subcommittee and have three or four people meet with the attorneys and come back to the commission and consider based on their recommendation. That could be another. In many communities that I've worked in, the councils or commissions would appoint a group of people to meet with these individuals and do an interview. The process would have to be formal. There are two entities that have submitted application or uh, yeah, I guess proposals. That's the word I'm looking for. They've submitted proposals. They're both very good, and they both have some very good experience. Now we need to all come together. I think that's what we agreed to. That we all, this is the first time we've ever done something like this. We wanted all to be there, and they've been waiting patiently for us now. And I'd like to see it done either late this January to early February, but no later than that because we're starting to interfere in their own workload. One of the attorneys in particular has
I
mentioned
do
that to
need
us.
to make one thing clear,
Mhm.
though, is that one of the attorneys is currently until after the first week in February tied up with a trial.
Mhm.
So it would have to be after that
Okay.
time period.
And that would be okay, I guess. I'm saying it's okay. It's okay with me, but of course it's depends on you all as well. I'm just one vote, so we could do that. But we do need to set up a date and we need to set up a time, and we can work together with the manager with questions. Again, I'd be happy to review them to make sure that these questions are um, able to be asked and that they are not in violation of any rule or law. And I'm looking at our commissioner right here, who is very familiar with what those rules are. So we
Can
could look
we
at the questions.
also, because another part of this is the procedure, um, would you interview them together? Would you have them come on the same day, but interview them at different
We
times?
could do
Or
that.
how would you
We could do
want
that.
to do that?
Again, it just depends on us. I mean, we could set a day and interview both of them at the same time. It's not any secret. We have to post who they are, and so if we could do them at the same time, just use a different time or uh, whatever, and somebody can wait out there. But I would prefer that we separate them a little if we decide to meet them together.
I would almost suggest that, like
Hmm.
maybe have one here at like 5 o'clock and
Hmm.
one at, 6
Kind of
or
at
something, or
6:30 or so.
6:30,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that they don't even necessarily need to see each other or
Hmm. Hmm.
that, but
No, I agree. I agree. We could do that. I mean, I'm willing to even work on the weekends if anybody wants to do that. I don't know if they're willing to do it, but we'll see. So, but we need some dates now. We need to set up some times here. So, knowing what we know about one of the attorneys, what days look seem feasible, Madam Manager? What anytime after February looks like it, or the first week
well,
in February?
currently, the only dates that I had been given
Mm-hmm.
were any conflicts were in January and early February. So we haven't gone past the time of that one attorney's trial.
Okay.
So I think any time that we look past, um, you know, the first or second week in February,
Mm-hmm.
we should be possible. I can't say for sure because I don't know how much their schedule may have changed from when I first got the emails.
Mm-hmm.
But they did know, they both know that we are meeting tonight and talking about the dates. So as soon as we have any dates or conflicts, we can let them know and see how that works with their schedule.
Okay. Okay. So the 22nd and the 23rd, I'm available in January next week. Uh,
No, we cannot do in January.
can't I thought you said we could.
No,
No?
from now, from January, the mid-January until the third week or the first week, the end of the first
Oh,
week in
okay, February we
February,
cannot do. Okay.
her trial date is in there.
All right then. So any date on the week of the 9th, exception of maybe.
I would almost go into the week of the 19th
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know what their schedule may have changed.
I don't want to wait that long. I mean, again, it's just me. But if she says she can do it anytime after the first week in February, it's only 30 minutes or so. I don't think the interview will be a long, and within an hour at the most.
Well, we can only offer the date and then
Hmm.
they can tell us whether they can make it or not.
Correct. So the second week of February the 9th, I'm open. I'm open. Okay. What about you? Okay. Yep. Actions? Yep. Okay. So, Madam Manager, why don't you look at the week of the 9th, from the 9th through the 13th, and call them and ask them when they're available, and then send us a note, and we will reply individually. Would you like to meet in the morning, in the afternoon? When would you all like to meet? Afternoons? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right then, that's fine with me. All right.
So you're talking February 9th through the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Should we leave off Friday the 13th? Just
No, 13th is my lucky number. I know Fridays are difficult for some of us, but no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
so we're looking Friday, February 9th through the 13th, and time that's convenient to them, or are you looking more for evening?
I would say let's look at them, see what they have.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what they have, and then just come back to us, and we can say yay or nay. I know maybe Commissioner Earl may have some issues.
I think she said that in fact I have
I'm looking at her stuff.
yeah. Let's go. Shoot. Sorry about that. I had a gun. I think she said that the afternoons, like maybe Tuesday, Thursday worked better for her.
Okay. Okay. We'll work with her too. So
Okay.
whichever is best.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So we're looking at the week of February the 9th through the 13th for some possible meeting dates with these two firms. And we will come back. Now, after the interviews, we do not make any decisions. Uh, it is just for an interview, just to let you all know about the process that we're going to use. I ask that you please, if you have any specific questions, I know the manager and I will work on a few questions, but if there's anything in specific that you would like to ask, please send them to her. One of the things I'd like to make sure is that when we ask one, we ask the other. However, having said that, there may be something that's specific more towards them because of the type of firm and their ability. So you may have a question, something like that, and that's fine. And we will just tell them at that point in time. Uh, in terms of questions, would you how would you like for us to do that? Would you like for us to each ask a question, or would you prefer that the manager asks all the questions, or the chair asks the questions? So everybody can sit and listen. How would you, any preferences here?
No preference to me.
Okay. So what I would like to do is I will ask the questions so that you all can listen. You all send me the questions and I'll work with the manager. And of course the manager can also help me to come up with the questions and maybe help me also with asking them as well. Okay. She can probably ask the questions as it relates to operating procedures and things like that. So we will work together on that. All right. Okay. And we'll try to keep it to no more than 1 hour for each of them. And then after that, then we will come back at the meeting, at our next meeting in March, and make a decision. And this decision will have to be made publicly at our March meeting. Yes, always. Yes. Okay. Are there any other questions or comments on this item? Okay. Hearing none, we'll proceed. All right. Now, new business. Item number A. Discuss my favorite. discuss fiscal year 26-27. I can't believe I'm saying those words. Budget for Holly Township Parks and Recreation. It always feels like we just finished our budget and here we are doing another one. So all let's take a look at this one piece of paper that I want you all. It's here in front of you. We get a monthly uh status report on where we stand financially. And you can see this. Now, remember, we'd asked our bookkeeper to come to us on a quarterly basis. For the second quarter ended in December. Is that correct?
She's actually closing it out this month.
Okay. So we can ask her to come. She's going to be behind a little bit, but for us in terms of meeting with us, but we can ask her to come at our next meeting and give us a status report on where we stand financially. But for the
When I
most
met
part,
with her on Tuesday, I asked her. I said that the commission would like to meet next month.
okay, perfect. Then we'll make sure that we have her on the agenda. Can she come, or will we need to make arrangements for her to
No,
meet
we
with
would
us?
have to do the same as we did previously because of her health issues.
Okay. So can you work with our commissioner, right, please, so he can work with you on that? All right. Thank you. Perhaps when it comes to the voice, maybe we can just use the phone.
I think I have a couple of different ideas
Okay.
that yeah,
I will leave
it'll
it up
be
to
a lot
you.
better.
I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you can see our budget right now as of December 31st, 2025. Obviously, she needs to close this. Our revenues, these are not all our revenues yet. I know that the township has not given us the majority of our revenues, but those are coming in. And our expenses. So you can see these are the expenses for the month in December. Now, when you turn the page, you can see the schedule of the budget to actual in terms of what's happening. And at this point, we're at 50% of the year has gone by, and you can see where we stand. Overall, we're still doing very well, but the only reason for that is because we have not completed our major projects. And overall, we're at 29.35% with 50% of the year gone by. Again, however, we've got some mega projects that we're looking at, and you can see we had placed some funds aside to purchase a truck. I don't know if we're still going to do that, but we're looking at that. And we also have to do the major park improvements to phase 2 of the drain issue. So we're looking at that. So, and those are the big dollars, but you can look at the rest and you can see where we stand. Now, even though like if you look at auditing fees and you see it at 89% of the year has gone by, that's all we're going to spend with auditing. We're not going to spend any more. We've already paid the auditor, and so we do have some funds that are available. That doesn't mean that we can spend them until we get approval from the commission. And then you can see we're a little bit high on the park salaries. So this is something that we're going to have to look at. Trying to think of some others that are a little high that are a concern. I think everything else is within reason. Operating supplies is a little high, but I know that the animals that we take care of here have incurred some improvements, but I think we're almost there from spending anything more from them except for food and regular maintenance. But that's something that we have to take a look at for next year. And I'm trying to see another one that's kind of big. Nothing else that I see. Accounting fees, but again, we did increase that more this past year when we approved our contract, so that went up a little. And again, this is something that we have to take a look at carefully. So you can see that, and then overall, when you look at the third page, again, these are simple checks. I say simple, but these are the checks that she paid out this year or this month, and you can see the names, the transaction type, and the account that she made this to. And you can, like I said, she'll see the amount and the balance. Okay. So I think these are very good reports. I'm looking forward to a little bit more information and especially asking when we get the funds from the township and and to see where we stand with a couple of things. Plus, spring is coming soon. I know it doesn't feel like it today, but spring is coming. And I'm hoping that we can start again with some of our park programs and projects. I know that there's so many that I'd like to see get started, and our manager has been working on them. So, um, okay. So with that, the only thing we have on this item is uh, to direct our manager to please get us the bookkeeper at our next meeting for our next meeting, and then the other thing I would like to do since we're preparing our budget, I'll ask her to come up with just a very brief time frame as to when things are due. And one of the things for the commission is if you have any ideas or any projects that you would like to see done next year, please send us a list of what you think you would like to see done. You have the budget in front of you, so you can see some of the things that we've done. So let's take a look at some of the projects that we may be able to fund for next year. Okay? So let us know on that. And please send them all to the manager. She can compile them, and then when we put the budget together, we will consider, depending on where we stand, some of the projects that perhaps you might like to see interested. I know you've got some projects for the beach that you'd like to see done, and you've got some projects that you would like, and of course, Mr. Hutchins as well. So please send us your proposals and ideas, and together as a whole, we'll come up with a budget that we can present and then consider. Now, I don't have an exact date, but I do know that usually we do prepare the budget before the end of the fiscal year has to be done. So we've got a little bit of time, and the end of the fiscal year is June 31st or June 30th. Now, we're going to have this budget done much sooner than that. So I'm hoping that we can have it ready long before May. So please, by March, before our next meeting date, please come up with your suggestions for our next meeting and send them to our manager, please. Okay, very good. Thank you. Moving right along. Let me just stop there. Are there any other comments or questions on the budget? Nope. Okay, very good. So moving on to item B, establish a meeting schedule for development of a strategic plan for Holly Township Parks and Recreation. Now, you all know that I'm determined. We got a mission statement, yes. And so now with that mission statement, accomplish those goals. Now, they don't have to be accomplished within a year. They can be accomplished within a 5-year period. I'm hoping that we go no further than 5 years. Maybe 10, I suppose, if some of you all think we need to. But again, I will come up with some examples that I'll send to you all so you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to goals and objectives. But I'm asking for at least 30 minutes, just like we did the mission statement. I can't believe we got it done in 30 minutes. Ouch. But we did. So if we can come up with some goals, at least within the next few months, before the end of our fiscal year, that would be tremendous. And then we can start seeing. Now, these goals are just give direction to the manager in terms of what are the things that we would like to see done in the next 5 years here in this for both the for both Sorensen Park and for our beach. What are some of the things that you would like to see done? Now, of course, I asked, and we did provide to you all a copy of the master plan. So please take a look at that. I know that Commissioner uh, Hutchins has brought that to my attention several times. We have the master plan, but this is a little different because this incorporates uh, uh, more than just what the master plan asks for. There may be some goals to maybe perhaps bring in a full-time staff, maybe perhaps do something to change operations, things of that nature. I don't know what are some of the potential goals we could come up with, but I will share with you all what they look like, and at least it gives a direction as to where and what we're looking to do within the next few years. And what happens here is that every year, once we do this, then every year after we're gone or we stay or whatever, we work with some new folks and we take the year and we evaluate and say, well, is this still feasible? Is this doable? And we can make some appropriate changes. Okay. Again, it's the strategic plan is more of a concept that'll give direction to the staff and to the commission here as to what we think as a whole in terms of where should we go? Should we be more educational? Should we be more recreation? Should we be more environmental? Or maybe a little bit of everything? We don't know. But again, I ask that these goals be at least realistic and accomplishable, and most importantly, because our public's going to want accountability, and we have to be able to show them where these dollars went to. So, okay, again, it's 5 short goals, and we'll go from there. Yes, sir. hmm No, it's different. Yes, but it's a good idea. hmm Mhm. Mhm.
And possibly have a year, have a moderator, and we're seeking these attitudes and opinions from the public. What do they want us?
Mhm.
Uh, we have, each of us has an idea of what we want to see, but I think more importantly, we need to ask the consumer, our customer,
Mhm.
what are you looking for? From us or the market?
Mhm.
And I hope we can develop that in the budget. So that's vital to develop this.
Well, the master plan, Parks and Recreation plan, that's something that we're gonna have to start working again. Either we're gonna somehow do it ourselves or hire a professional to bring it up to date because it needs to be updated. And I think what is the end of that plan? This coming
December 31st, 2026.
20. So before the end of this year, we need to bring it up to date. And this plan uh, requires citizen input. And if you recall, we got very low input for that plan. I think it was maybe 100 people, maybe. I'm not even sure. Maybe less than that. Not even 100. It was
I don't even think it was 50.
not even 50. Yeah. So I know what you're talking about, but yes, and I concur with you. Getting public input is so difficult, but I think we can change that, and we can go out and seek ourselves. And
We
I
also might be able to get help through Oakland County Parks
Mhm, mhm,
because they do that on a regular basis.
mhm. And
They
once
might
we get our
give us-
website up, we can get input from that as well, from the public. Meet that objective. That could be one of the goals, to increase our citizen input, increase the number of people that come to the park. You know, so again, I like your idea. Just got to find ways to get it done. Okay. Yes, Mr. Hutchins, Commissioner.
Back and start slamming the master plan again. We have a cart and we have a horse. Let's go to the horse first again. It's going to pull the cart. Go review the master plan first. It gives goals and objectives and input from the public and all the other things that we're looking for the other thing. So let's get the horse done first. Because horses don't push carts, they pull carts. So let's get one down first. Everybody review the master plan and take the ideas that we get from the past and see if we implement them. And that's why you update your master plan. Find out what you did do, what is it still what we want to do, and everything else. And that's where the master plan is. It also takes the input of the people. And unfortunately, you can stand down there on a street corner every day and ask people, what would you like to see? And they go, I don't know. And or they'll say, I ain't got time. And surveys don't work real good. So, let's get the cart before the horse. Let's get everybody review the master plan because it has goals and objectives in there. And some of those goals we never did achieve. And we might want to continue with those or whatever else. But that's what it's about.
Okay.
The master plan.
When we, I'm sorry, sir. Um,
No,
no.
but we can give you a copy if you'd like.
Can we keep the, sorry, meeting? That's okay. That's okay. Um, let me just hear from the commissioners to open it up first.
Well, I think you know the master plan on 50% demographics. Um, he didn't really serve, I don't think, on others. A lot. I think it was, um, so I think maybe in terms of spying, we would really consider what we're looking for in the development plan. Because when I'm looking at demographics from 2020, do I care about a map that shows the bodies of water? Township, township, not necessarily.
But you're misunderstanding. You're respectfully, okay? This is information that is required, you know, in order for us to apply for grants and things of that nature. And so, like,
That's true.
it is. I promise you, it is.
This is the working.
Mhm.
It's got to be action.
Mhm.
I didn't think the last plan was that action. You know, we paid, well, you overpaid for what we got.
Well, let's bring back the history of the last master plan. We had a parkour course coming in here, and part of the grant was use master plan. Never had a master plan after we had this plan built. Because you need a master plan, you need grants, and DNR won't do it. And a lot of this stuff, we just did one in the village here, and the village parks board did it because it was between $10,000 and $20,000 to have somebody else to. We got a free master plan from the last grant we had. And so what we did, village parks board is we each took a thing and took the master plan part and updated the population, square mile, the monies and stuff like that, because that's the information that has to be in the master. So we did that. We saved a lot of money, and it wasn't that hard. So all you do is go down and find out what the population of the village and the township is. They give you.
It's not that simple. I understand what you're saying, sir, but I don't think it's that simple. Um, Especially when it comes to some of the maps, and even when it comes to some of the data. You can't just go to the internet. You have to have specific um, information that is verifiable and that um,
And also, we just to interrupt you
Mhm.
before we go too far and get lost.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get
Go
lost.
to the internet, we went to the township government, county government, and everything else, and got all of our information. So it was actual data, it wasn't hearsay on the street. And then we had the village attorney or the village reviewed it, and they passed the master plan for the village parks.
Okay.
So we could get grants. And
Well-
for years we didn't have one because we had this place built, and we didn't want to go for grants. So that's why we finally would have had to spend the money, but we had a grant for that part of that parkour course for recreation, and part of that was 5-year plan, master plan. So that's a lot of that, all the demographics and that were all, and if we look at that, we don't go on the internet to find out. We go out, we have a new we can get township maps and village maps and stuff.
Okay. I think we need some professional help. I don't know if many of us have to do that type of research. I know I don't. And how about you? Make sure that the statistics that you put in that document are correct, because they will be reviewed by some key individuals. Uh, but the thing that you're concerned about, don't the statistics are important in order so that they can substantiate what your goal is. Okay. So if you have a significant number of people that live in this community and they're of a certain age group and so forth and so on, then you can confirm that yes, we need to do this project because we have this XYZ population that needs this service. I'm just being very, very, very broad here.
What I look
Mhm.
the master plan Like, and, and I read this playbook, you know, I would follow. And I, trust me, I read the answer about the least 3 times. I don't get that feeling once so bad. Well, then maybe there are a couple companies that put this together. Importantly, they were looking at law, or maybe looking at plan development.
I agree. That's
Some are better than others.
yes.
But that inspired me one bit.
Yeah, there
Rush.
there are there are groups such as that, as you mentioned, and we can take a look at that. They don't cost an arm and a leg, but I think that they're important. But the key thing here is that we are responsible for implementing that plan. And if we don't do this, then this plan that we paid thousands of dollars for, as Commissioner Hutchins has said, uh, was worthless. We didn't do it. So let's take a look at it again. Let's read it. Let's implement some of the things that we can do. And at least once a year with the master plan, um, let's see what we can do. Remember, we don't have a full-time director here. Um, I don't. Uh, we don't have the staff that we need in order to implement many of the projects that we're working on here. So, we as commissioners do a lot of the work. But I agree with you, Commissioner, that maybe it's time to update those goals and maybe change them and get them at the point where we can implement them. We can do. So let's look at that and maybe perhaps place them as part of our strategic goals so that we can do that. And when we put the budget together for next year, we will implement some of the projects that are set. Now, regardless of the number of people that came in for their input, it's still important. Their input is important. And what they told us is what they represent people, just like us here. We're here to do what's good for our community and to listen. And one of the folks that we need to listen to are the people that took the time to put this master plan together. And let's see what we can do to finish it. And then when we come back and update it, doesn't mean that we can't change it. Master plans can be reviewed every single year, and to see if they're accomplished. This past year, we did the budget. We came in a little bit after the fact, some of us, and so now we know what we have to do, and let's see what we can do and make this one of our priorities so that we can implement the master plan. And again, I've looked at the stats that they have. Um, it's not as simple as just going on. It is time consuming, and we need to be careful, make sure that we have the proper stat because it hurts whenever you apply for a grant if your stats are not current, are not accurate, and the source is not reliable. So all those things are key and vital. So if we're looking for a company that can just update the stats, then maybe that's what they'll do, and then we can update the goals. I think that'd be easier. But here again, let's look at the goals again for the stats, and let's consider maybe working together with the company, formal. Again, this is just me uh, to get this done because you want to put together a master plan that will be considered viable, accurate, and can be implemented, readily implemented. So those are key things that I'm looking for in the master plan. I think some of the projects may not be what we like, but here again, this is what the people that spoke, that attended the meetings wanted. So even though the folks that are putting this together and they would like to see this done, they're not there to give us their ideas. They're there to listen. And so the folks that were at those meetings, that's what they said. So we only have, so much ability to get this master plan. And like I said, it's primarily due to citizen input, and we can work hard to change that and to get more people to come when the time comes to get citizen input again and get it updated. So, well, go ahead. Mhm.
You see, check those.
Mhm. when the master plan was put together, when you read the master plan, it gives you a description of the process that they followed in order to put it together. And in their process, they explained the number of times that they met and what these people said. And so at those meetings, the master plan is built on that, on the input that was put together by these people. So that's what I was
Six.
Mhm. Small, very small.
Well, we got to get six should be from our, uh,
Mhm.
right. When children beach, uh, recreation, conservative, like that, I mean, those are the key goals. The goals. Really do. And then the,
Well,
well, paltry number of people that exposed to one of the messages. That's like,
I don't I agree with you. It is very difficult, as Commissioner Hutchinson said, to get input from the folks in our community. You can only do so much, but we can work next year to this year, I should say, by publishing it more, by discussing it more, by going to groups and asking people to come, going to schools, sending notes, doing a little bit more proactive duties to have more people like what you're saying, focus groups, like people that go to the beach. Hmm. Hmm.
one way there, but you know, a moderator brings all this, you can develop functions
Mhm.
from our region.
So maybe we could do better this year when it comes to user groups, and that may be something that we can take a look at when we're updating the plan. Okay. So so when it comes to this item, again, this is just for the strategic plan. I'm looking for maybe 30 minutes before each meeting to come together like we did the last time. So we could meet at 6 o'clock at the next meeting to talk about the goals and most definitely look at the master plan, see if we can incorporate some of those things in there to get done. Okay. Okay. And we're looking at the next meeting, 6 o'clock, to discuss. Please come prepared. I will send you examples of what the strategic goals could potentially look like and their objectives, because you'll have the goal and then you'll have the objectives as to how are we going to accomplish that. Okay. Like
So you're asking each commissioner to bring 5 goals?
I'm asking them, yes, to try to come with at least 5 goals if they can, 1 or 2, but no more than 5. And start the discussion by meeting 30 minutes before the meeting. Doesn't mean that we're going to get it done, but it'll get started. It's just like we did with the mission statement. Like I said, I can't believe we did that in 30 minutes, but we did. So who knows? We may be able to come up with the goals really quickly, and then we'll have to design the objectives as to how to get there, and then we're done.
And then we'll have to post each of those meetings.
Yes, please. Yes, we'll post at 6 p.m. Just 30 minutes of your time is all I'm asking. Okay.
Do we want to have Commissioner Wright talk about his survey now while it's
The oh, it's not really part of the discussion here.
I'm not saying we're going to adopt it or anything, but
Oh, I
we might
know.
want to discuss it as far as part of what Commissioner Carl was just talking about is how do you get input from residents?
Okay, well, I guess if you pose it in that fashion, if you'd like to discuss it, please do, Commissioner. No, he just talks.
First of all, I'd like to state, Mr. Hutchins is correct that surveys generally do not provide a lot of everything that we can. So to online.
Mhm.
this wouldn't be making decisions by survey. It'd be
Mhm.
together a sample, just a rough draft of what I think the survey would look like. Um, I know some commissioners have told me it looks rather lengthy. We're trying to get to the root of what people want their parks to be, and you know, um, of course, into uh, you know, this is
Mhm. So the reason I know Commissioner Carl asked if there's a would be a motion. Now, I'm not asking for anybody to consider this formally yet. It's just a suggestion right now. Sure. Okay. So I'm asking you all to take a look at this and come back with some input, and then we can place this on the agenda for further discussion. And then if we approve this, then we can perhaps place this on our up and coming website, or maybe even use it as one of our goals in our strategic plan to get done.
Would and thank you for doing this. This is a lot of work.
Mhm.
And so what I'm wondering is once this is fine tuned in that,
Mhm.
would we have to bring this back next month or whichever month to the commission and have it approved before it's sent out to everybody? Okay.
I would say yes. I don't know when the website will be done, so it doesn't mean that we have to wait. It can be ready. So do you all need 1 month, 2 months to take a look at this and come up with your ideas? What is the
Yeah, we don't have to wait for the website to put this out there. We have all the tools that we would use our social media accounts that we are using now, Facebook, um, Twitter, or X rather. Um, and that would give people the opportunity to participate in the survey. Like
I
I
think
said,
we could also take it to the library.
yeah,
We
right,
could also take it to the village
yeah,
and township offices and even have them put it on their websites
hmm
just to show that it's available.
absolutely,
part of our collaboration?
yep.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
And I think a very thorough survey. Touched all the bases. Good job. Thank you very much. I've seen a lot of surveys. It's not lengthy, it's long.
Mhm.
It's very well.
It asks for some key questions.
Yeah.
It asks key questions. Uh, my personal opinion, it's a little too long. I get stymied after 10 questions. So again, remember our public and who we're looking to get to do this. It's just the first survey commission. So please, this may not be the last one. We may break it up into parts.
But on the other hand, there are some members of the public who probably would appreciate this and fill it out in length. And because they care about it. And I think, even offering maybe two options, if you want the short version, here it is. If you want the long version,
No, I
here
would
it
just
is.
go with one. Just go with one personally. No one.
I think they touched pretty much everybody's wants and wishes of the survey.
Right.
So otherwise they say, well, what about this or what about that? You covered it well. And I think it's an interesting thing. You read one of the questions, want to see what the
Mhm.
yeah, good job.
So I think if we make it easy, because I know how hard it is to do, place this on the internet. Sometimes they don't always work, the buttons and everything. Um, it depends on your browser and blah blah blah. But we can work on this. Please, everyone, take a look at this and bring it to our next meeting, and then maybe we can adjust it some more, and perhaps we will place it up there as a consideration for approval at our next meeting. And if you need more time, then we'll discuss it at that as well.
So one
Once the commission
Okay, very good.
Because we're meeting for the.
I really would prefer not because I really want to focus on the legal. And it's not a meeting, a formal meeting of the commission. It's really more of a, we have to, I guess I'm just trying to make an interview. It is a formal meeting. Let me take that back. It is a formal meeting of the commission. But at that point in time, I would just hope, it's just me. All right. If you guys want to add this to the agenda, you can let us know. We can do that. I prefer give you all some time, take a look at this, and then in our March meeting, we can do this. I don't see any limits.
Yeah, it's me in action.
Well, the time may be ticking, but I would like some more time to look at this personally myself. I would like a little bit more time, with all due
I'd
respect.
like to make one more comment on it.
Hmm.
Drop some stuff out in relation to the township and the library. Not everybody uses the internet. You're handing out pictures here and go, wow. You know, it's a bad side for its friends.
Well, I mean, like
Everybody slows out here.
there's some questions here that are a little too. I'm concerned. Um, but I'll leave it there. I can speak to it now if you want me to.
Please.
Additional comments regarding the disc golf course? It's so vague.
Number
Number 16.
16.
Mhm. He's got some questions in there about the golf, disc golf. I just think questions like that, they're nobody will, very few people.
Well, if they want additional comments, they can put in what they want.
Right.
Let's hear from them.
Well, but
Where's the-
there are already comments here that we ask about them. If you look at question number, uh, yeah, number 12, number 13, number 14. So these are all questions that relate to disc golf. And then anything else? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, here go 9. Mm-hmm. Oh, section 2A. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pertinent.
But when you do a survey, which I've done hundreds of surveys, this question here kind of um I don't know what its purpose is other than what else. And so if you're looking for a survey, a good survey, you want to know what are you looking for? What improvements are you doing? And to me, this question, like a few of them here towards the end, um, they're too uh, I don't know how this will help us. Um, like I said, I would like to review this a little further. And all I'm just asking is until March, please, when we sit and meet. That's all I'm asking. I I
But right now we're in January.
well, February. I'm sorry. We can meet in February. I apologize. Forgot. I'm 1 month behind. So we can do in February. Give me a few weeks to review this, so we can do February.
I would like to make a comment on it. This will be questions you asked about, at least probably nothing. Verify the contract. What do people want? What do they do? You know, what you can file. And you have to bring the whole machine for that. Yeah, and the door, yeah, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
I like February.
okay, we can put it. I agree. We can put this on the February agenda. I apologize. I thought this. I'm a month behind, so we can come and bring it at the February agenda for take a look at this. But I do ask you all read this very carefully and understand what the purpose of a survey is. It's not just to get to know them, but for them to tell us what are they looking for, and we need to have some very clear questions. And again, like the last questions, I have some concerns, but that's just me. Okay. All right then. We will look at placing this on our upcoming meeting in February. I don't think we need a motion for that. I think it's consensus, and we can just go ahead and proceed with that. All right. So
Make a motion.
correct. Correct. Thank you. All right. So moving right along to item number C, which is to discuss collaboration of presentations with U.S. Fish and Wildlife intern Cole Fisher. Madam Manager, I know I attended this discussion with him. I'm very impressed with this individual, but I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, Jane and I met online with Cole Fisher. He is an intern with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and he actually came to us on recommendation from our former program manager, Amy Childers. Cole actually was a 4-H participant when he was younger and enjoyed the process so much that he wanted to bring that back to students and that in our area. He actually works out of the Lansing office, so I thought for the fact that he was willing to come this long and that particularly in the winter was admirable for him. And he actually, I equally was impressed with the Zoom call that we had with him. And he also sent me copies of the online presentation. It's more of a PowerPoint type thing. And it is one of them has to do with pollinators and it is directed to younger children, like grades 2 to 3. And then the older one has to do with possible careers in fish and wildlife or other wildlife agencies. And he, in that, actually had real life stories basically of how current rangers and that got into the program and what type of schooling that they had to do. And I just thought it was very useful. And I thought we could certainly open it up not just to students, but we could open it up to the general public because there may be some people in our community as adults that might be interested in that process. I did give him during the conversation that Jane and I had with him, give him the contact information for the assistant to the superintendent for Holly area schools, because I thought that possibly they might, through their career office or that, might want to also connect with him. But at that point, last week when I uh, reached out to him, he had not talk to her after the holidays yet. So, but he is still willing to come and do a program through Holly Parks for the students, both the younger and the older. So I guess I just wanted to bring that to the commission to see your opinion. The other thing is just today I actually had a conversation with a Girl Scout leader. She has a history of using Holly Township parks, and they currently have a troop that is in Davisburg, but they have used this building before, and what they're looking for is a camp out, but a camp out in this main room. And so, what they would like to do is bring 5 girls and 3 adults, middle school age, to our nature center to on a Friday night do an overnight camp, and then the next day to possibly do sledding if weather permits. So they would. My understanding is they would bring everything they need for activities and things like that. The program the troop leader. I do know her. I served on Holly Township commission with her previously, Bev Lowinger. And she's well familiar with our building, with the things that we would expect. She already spoke to me about the fact that they would clean up after they were done, that they would handle everything, and I am
So,
confident that she would do that.
Madam Manager, I appreciate you bringing that discussion because let's stick with this U.S. wildlife thing first.
Okay.
Okay. And then we can move on to that. But thank you. I am interested in doing that. So, Mr. Fisher is looking to come here and give a presentation regarding U.S. fish and wildlife. And I believe he'll provide all everything. Is that correct?
Correct. He's going to bring all the materials that he needs.
Mhm.
I think that we could probably augment if needed with some art supplies or things like that if we wanted to. And, we still are in discussion with him about, how this is going to work out and that. But I'm really confident, just as Jane said, that
Mhm.
he's very mature and,
He's very young.
would do exactly what he proposes to do.
I think this is a really great program, and thank you for bringing this to our attention, Madam Manager. This individual is very much in tune with wildlife, and if we can start promoting his type of presentation, um, I think this would help this area and get people to understand more about the fish in this area and the wildlife in this region, and how to take care of it and make sure that it that stays with us for years to come. So yes, Commissioner.
You're talking about
No, he's doing the
gonna present to the
presentation for
community
children.
and the community, anybody else, adults as well. They want to come, right?
Yes.
Yes. A public presentation. He's willing to come and do this, and
organize, consider organizing,
mm-hmm.
like you have to go to the school auditorium. Is that what you're thinking?
Well,
No, here.
here we can
Yep.
do it here, and he will provide the presentation and the children. We're trying to communicate with the school. Um, Again, this is a career type thing. We don't know if a lot of children that know of careers in
Well, the younger program is for 2nd to 3rd graders.
Mhm.
So that's just the pollinator program. The career one is for the older students. What he's proposing is an evening during the week to come. And Amy Childers had said even if she's not able to come that particular night, she would still publicize it through 4-H. So we might get extra students that way. And so I think, what I would be looking at would probably be February, March. I think you get too much into April, you get back into sports and things like that for students, plus you get into Easter and that. So I would hope that, February, March would be a good time. True. Right. So.
Okay. I was very impressed with this individual. He is very knowledgeable about the wildlife and fish in our region, and certainly would like to develop a strong collaboration with this entity. Does anyone have any concerns about us moving forward with this at least? And then the manager can come back to us if there's anything that we need their approval. I mean, it's just the only thing I think she'll promote it. She'll work with you, Commissioner, to make sure that we can promote it on our Facebook page, and then we'll obviously work with the schools as well. We're already starting that, and see what we can do. But it's just a program to teach the youth, and then also a little bit older on careers in the for U.S. fish and wildlife.
Multiple meetings.
Well, multiple presentations.
This is as big as we think it might be. Do we have the capacity here?
I don't think it's going to be that big, personally. If it does, then we will have to we'll have to look for a different mode. But
Well, generally, when we do
Got it.
precursor.
Why?
we yeah, even though we're putting it out there, we haven't traditionally had a huge response to our programs. And so I would be thrilled if we had a large response. But, I have shared with him that we have no clue how many students might come. And he said he's willing to do it for, small or large group. So I'm not worried in that regard. But I think if we do our best to promote it, then we're that much farther ahead. And we're the reason that I am wanting to do some of these programs is to show the public that we're trying to use this building and our resources to use their tax dollars wisely and to offer them opportunities. So
I Yep, I really would like our schools to get more involved with that. It's a tremendous opportunity. So, yes. Okay. Everybody concur then? At least. Okay, very good. All right then. So let's proceed, Madam Manager, and then we will anything that needs formal approval. All right. Moving right along and I've not forgotten the Girl Scouts. Is that correct? That want to come in or the group. Can we discuss it in your report? Is that okay?
Sure.
Does it need formal approval from us on that?
Yes, we would need to.
We would need
Well, I mean, unless you want to just say it's part of programming.
It's not part of discussion yet. Trying to stick to the agenda here.
No, what I'm saying is it's up to the commission whether they feel it needs a vote or not. If you feel that it's just part of programming, then it doesn't need a vote.
I think we have our answer there. Okay. Just right. Let's do some. I like that. So give us a little bit more detail when you give your report, please. But I think you'll find that most of the commissioners are supportive of this. I just have one concern, but we'll discuss it at that point in time. Okay, just very minor, I promise. All right, moving on to item number 8D. Discuss community contest for best motto for Holly Township Parks and Recreation. I don't know who came up with this idea, but
I think it starts with a J.
does it start with a J? Well, I mean, I thought at first we could come up with our own motto, but again, we're looking for citizen, involvement. Would it be nice to ask the community, what should our motto be? It's not the same as our mission statement, okay? But I'm sure Commissioner Carl could come up with our motto. But if you would prefer that we go out and ask the public for, for their input and their suggestions. Like right now, for example, and we've done this, and I don't think Commissioner Wright knew this, but up north, that's the township's motto, uh, Holly Township Board of Trustees, and we're different, so you need a different motto. That's not a survey question. That's a suggestion. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so I'd like to again discuss the idea of maybe asking the public for their input on coming up with a motto. Now, we are a government entity, so our funds are very limited in terms of what they can be used for when it comes to prizes and things like that. But but I'm willing to do, something to show our thanks for that individual for doing that. I know many cities have done this, and they do it for their logos and things of that nature. And I know I think the school district does it from their calendar and things of that. So maybe that's something that we could do. So does everybody think it's a good idea? Should we proceed and maybe go out and promote seeking for our best motto, or do you think that the five of us can just come up with a motto? Be honest. It's a lot of work.
I'm putting my mind around, what's the objective of the model? And a tactic one would be proposing a concept. Would this involve signage? Maybe we have to modify our existing signage.
We can do it. We wouldn't do it all like that because we don't have those kinds of funds. But as we go on, like you just put something that we may want to look at in next year's budget for improved signage. We can place that on the.
Actually, the improved signage was for this year.
Oh, this year
We
we
already
may.
approved it.
Okay, so then we haven't done any of the signs yet, so we may add the motto on there. Um, and it doesn't usually go on the signage, but it can. It can. It can go on our letterhead, things of that nature. I think our letterhead needs to be updated a little. I'd like to see our logo, don't get mad, updated as well. But I will see. I'm sorry if I touch my face a lot. It's because I've just had some surgery and it's starting to hurt. So I apologize. But anyways, what do you all think? Should we try to get this, or do you think the five of us can come, or six of us can come up with our own motto?
Well, you brought up something,
Mhm.
logo. If we're going to do a motto, maybe we better start with,
Okay.
and then develop from there. So we've got a logo, we got a tagline.
I mean, when you look at our logo, it's very hard when you print it to make it look like anything. It just looks like a big T. It needs a little work. I like the concept, the ideas that's on it. It just needs to be a little bit better, more defined, that sort of thing.
And for it, I
Mhm.
think we need to develop our graphics. Signage out here on the road. Let's address that first, and then we can work second.
Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. So we're gonna hold off on the motto then, and we'll start working on updating our logo, and that we'll see what requires of that. I've done this before in other communities, and not we can either hire a company to do it for us, or we can do it ourselves, or we can go on the internet. There's many companies can do it for us too. I've done it many, many times, so I'll bring it for your attention. Okay? Okay. All right. So we discuss this matter and we'll postpone it until we do the logo first. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Are there any comments or questions on this item before I move further? None? Okay. Reports, item number 9, staff reports. Madam Manager. Now, think about the Girl Scouts.
Um, I have a few things, and then I would like to offer Mark Cornwell the chance to help me report on our visit to Formar when we come to that. So in one of the things that I met Tuesday with Rachel, she said everything is going well except I had mentioned in a previous meeting that she had some concerns about QuickBooks. She still has a couple of concerns about that she is watching because of a couple things that they have not corrected the way that she felt that they should be. They ignored one thing where she had to literally go in and fix it herself. And then there was a issue with one of the staff's paychecks, and they didn't handle it the way that she felt it needed to be done. There was an IRS notice that we got, and Rachel just went in and handled that because we needed to pay it and we owed it. So she did do that. However, she did say that at this point she would not recommend switching QuickBooks to any other type of paycheck system. We previously had used a paycheck system called Paychecks, and they were significantly more expensive. And so she did not feel that it was worth the extra money to switch at this point. But she is keeping a close eye on what they're doing. So there's that.
So we've been put on notice then. Depending on what happens, we may have to.
Correct. She's just watching it.
Okay.
And if anything, extreme or she feels that it's not worth the money or the time and effort that she's putting into it because of things that they're doing. She said that she's just really surprised because this has been, just a change to their system, she thinks, that these mistakes are being made when they were not made previously. So she's not sure of the actual process.
Very good.
So
thank you.
Yep. The other thing that has changed is this Tuesday, our contact with Oakland County Health, who comes out and tests our water because of our issues that we've had with bacteria in the water. Apparently, they are changing the program through Oakland County. She is no longer going to come here and test. What they're doing is they are using that staff time. They're going to have them start doing their own digitizing of records, or they're taking paper records and scanning them and keeping them for the county. So this is one program that they are able to legally stop doing. And so in the future, I am going to have to do what Tom had done, our staff person Tom, in the past. We're going to take our own sample and we're going to take it down to Oakland County and pick up a new vial. And each month we're going to have to do that. And it's not a problem. I know how to do it. I've watched her do it many times. It's just going to be the time and effort of driving down there and back. So, but at least we will do it. And when she was here on Tuesday, she did take the one test that has to be done once a year up in the attic. And I was grateful that she went up there and got it. And so we don't have to worry about that for another year. So we have that. The other thing I would like to comment on is our wonderful staff, because after we had the incident with the person going through the ice over by the beach, Oakland County sheriffs came and they used our beach as a staging area to help rescue the snowmobile, not the person who fell in, but they did use our beach to launch their airboat as well as house their many pieces of equipment. In the process, our snow fence got knocked completely down. And so I would like to commend Mel and Zach, who went out there the very next day and put it right back up again. So they were doing that. The other thing, Mel, just recently we had the issues with the ice damming in our eave troughs, and he has now installed the heat tape up there, but he also went as far as to put a new socket type thing. I'm not sure what you call that. Okay, up there, so it makes it easier to be able to plug in and that. So thanks to them for doing that. I guess, the other thing, Lisa has been awesome about taking care of our turtle tanks. Now that we have these beautiful new turtle tanks, she has gotten to be quite a pro at taking care of them. And I think their health has improved significantly, especially the aquatic turtles. And then Commissioner Hutchins has said he's going to help build Rosie, our box turtle, a new habitat coming up shortly. So we'll do that. So other than that, I would like to invite Mark to join in with us as far as this discussion. We went up to Formar. We were certainly welcomed by Nicole and Courtney and Heather. Nicole, I think, is kind of the leader. Courtney is one of their staff people. Heather is their volunteer for their maple syrup program. And in the process, we also, as we were driving up, noticed that they had a demonstration garden right outside of their nature center. And so we got to do a tour of their demonstration garden. And they are in the process of also changing some of the parts of their demonstration garden into a sensory garden for children. And so that I think will be a really interesting thing to see, and some of the things that I think that we could probably incorporate right here. And it seemed to me that they were very welcoming, and I know Commissioner Bias DeSessa has stated that she would like to go up and see for herself some of the programming that they have, and so
Good program.
anybody else that would like to go? It's a jaunt to get up there, but it's still well worth it. They have a really nice program, and the other thing that was really exciting to me is that I didn't know they have an indoor beehive, which we had proposed with NOBA, and so they have the beehive that's inside, and they're even running it through the winter, which is different than what Donna Boschel with Northwest Oakland Bee Association, she had said that she thought they would have to shut down that indoor hive. And yet, out there, bees were active and they were moving, and it was a warmer day, and so we got to watch as they cleaned out the tube and that. So that was really interesting. But with Mark, he is also an experienced person who does the tapping of trees on his own property and has done some maple syrup boiling and evaporation. And so he was very curious to talk to Heather about hers, because when we were talking to her, she's been doing this for many years. What did she say, like 15 or something? And I mean, she keeps meticulous records and all that, so that they know from year to year how many trees they tapped and how much sap they actually got and how many gallons of syrup. The one thing that they did say is that what they demonstrate for the public is not the full process of what happens. That basically was just the boiling and showing the steam and that type thing. They do have an actual building that they use, and that has the evaporator and that right inside there. So they had a new improvement where they made the viewing area wider, so people can actually look in and watch the process, but they can't get close to the actual hot elements. But I don't know if you have anything further you would like to add, but the other thing that we had previously, which we reported on, we did have a meeting with a what we were hoping would be like a garden group starting here at the nature center, and so we were able to see what they were doing. We still, I think, have to get back with the group that came here and talk about that further. But I think one of the things that came out of that meeting was hoping to do some type of community garden where we can grow some food and provide that to residents. Um, but probably through like a food bank or, some type thing. So just wanted to let the commission know that's still in process. Nothing has been decided yet. But uh, we would like to know, kind of like with the other thing, if there's support generally for that type of program.
Um, any comments or questions from the commission at this point? Everybody support this idea? Would you like to hear from Mark a little bit more on what he's proposing? Mark, would you like to come up to the podium and just talk a little bit? It's just that it's recorded, so mhm.
You have to push the button.
Hi.
Yes.
Do you need a name and address? Okay. Uh,
Sounds
okay. Hi, Mark Cornwell. Any rate, I back up just a second. About a week prior to going to Formar, Nancy Rebar, my wife, and myself, we actually hiked the park here. Well, we were going to ski, but the snow wasn't quite good enough, so we just did a hike. And it's like to kill two birds with one stone. It's like, well, let's go look for sugar maples. I'm sad to say that there aren't any. However, there are red maples, and I was surprised to, well, not completely surprised to learn that you can tap red maples, but you can tap red maples. They just don't have the sugar content that a sugar maple does. And but as Mary said, I know she was as well. We were both very impressed with everything we saw there. The community garden was just amazing, and the idea with the community garden was that we could teach people how to be self-sufficient and grow their own. And this would be lots of different techniques, current modern stuff that people can incorporate pretty simply in their own yards. The maple syrup piece of it, though, sugar bush was just phenomenal. And just because we don't have a sugar bush doesn't mean that someday we couldn't, And so I made a list of a bunch of items that I thought maybe would be appropriate, would be needed to do the maple syruping. But you might want to also consider marking a couple $100 to buy a couple hundred seedlings and identify an area where we could actually plant a sugar bush. Now, those of us in this room are not going to get to enjoy it, but at some point in time, somebody will. And, that's the essence of planting a tree. You don't plant it for you plant it for the next generation anyway. But their sugar bush was just phenomenal. And pretty much everything they were doing there, I thought was just outstanding. They obviously have good funding and they have a lot of staff and some very creative, innovative things going on there. I actually learned a few things myself. I've been maple syruping for probably 6, 8 years now, and looking forward to another season this year. And um, it is a process, and I do, like I say, I have a list of materials that I don't know that it's complete, but for around $600, I thought that number might be sufficient to get enough materials to put into place. Although it would not include a shelter. They had a very nice shelter, but even just an open air shelter that could serve other functions um, for picnicking and such. It could be a multifunction, or even perhaps part of a heating structure for the sledding hill. Maybe that could be incorporated into that. But anyway, it was a real pleasure to go there. I love to take my grandkids to Formar, and they got great cross country skiing too. Any questions?
How portion of the sequel security?
Gosh, what do you think they had? A couple hundred by a couple hundred, maybe? Uh, you know, about a quarter of an acre. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was pretty, pretty condensed too. They had various ages of trees, small ones and bigger ones coming in.
Some huge ones.
Because you can't tap a tree until it's at least 10, 12 inches. And then, that's the diameter of breast height and then, the locations of where you put the spiles and how you drill the spiles in. But frankly, uh, one of the things I thought about was even if we didn't have the trees here, we could collect syrup perhaps somewhere else. Um, my thought would be to contact the Seven Lake State Park and say, do you guys have a place here or on your park that where we might be able to collect sap to do a demonstration here at Sorensen? And it re- yeah, unfortunately, my property is now my neighbor's property because I sold a bunch of them, and I'm actually having to tap his trees. I don't have any. Yes, they are, and yeah, there's a bunch of them in there, and um, I don't have any now on my property because, like I said, I sold that north end of the property to my neighbor. So, fortunately, I still have permission to tap, and I like to, like 7, 8 trees a year. That's about as much as I can handle. Get a little easier.
The other thing is that there has been maple trees tapped at Armstead, North Hollywood, and successfully. It's not being used, so I think it might be an option to ask township if we could get permission to use that. Um, I guess the other thing is I know Commissioner Hutchins has brought this up that there's a lot of time and effort and work involved in even just the process of the boiling and, that kind of a thing. So, even based on, Mark's idea that, this is a process and everything, even Heather, she's been doing it for so many years and, she finishes the process up at her home.
And then they have pancake breakfast. There's talk about having vendors there too, for when they have their actual demonstrations. Of course, they have a training program too, like for 7th, Maple Syrup 101. And so
True.
that, and then actually when they get into the boiling process with the actual demonstration, they maybe if it wasn't there, location, perhaps she mentioned a couple others that she could do a great job of it. But, they have vendors there, they have candy breakfast, like, well, they have paper syrup right here. Absolutely. So, anyway, lots of, and one other quick thing just to add. If we were going to have a sugar bush here, I got a name to suggest for the food on. And there was a concept. I did a tree study for the village back in the 80s, or street trees in the village. And I uncovered that there was a continental in the village economy who was responsible for planting a lot of the sugar maple that line the line of the streets, the railways. And I can't, his name alludes to that moment. Yeah. We can find
The-
different guy's name.
It wasn't Bear, was it?
Pardon?
It wasn't Bear, was it?
Bear. You know, I mean,
I'm just I thought maybe you mentioned that to me the other day, but maybe it was somebody else.
Collins, as far as studies, like, there was this individual was responsible for planning. At the time, there used to be a lot of lining the right away. And they were all the tour of planning survey out of this town. But there's a lot.
Thank you. The only other question that I have is, I remember attending the meeting, the garden meeting, for lack of a better description of it. But during that meeting, many of the people that were part of that group wanted to know if we would be, if this commission would be interested in doing this community garden and setting aside some space. And because we are starting to get a little bit restricted, because there's something in activities that are going along throughout the year, that we may have to find a space, and then obviously our types of dirt that we have here and so forth and so on. We talked about that at the meeting, and perhaps doing some type of garden where we could teach the next generation, you all could teach the next generation how to grow uh, your own food, become resilient, and and uh, and at the same time enjoy nature. And this is a nature center, and if we could do something like this, um, that would be amazing. Um, and then, as Mary had indicated, our manager indicated, maybe whatever proceeds come from there, we could work with a food, place, food center, or whatever, to donate those things. But again, everything has to be done accordingly, and I think that would be tremendous. Even just to work with schools to teach the children horticulture, I think would be tremendous.
Farmstead garden.
Not any longer. The garden that was there, because I am part of that. Um, we are now gardening at Mitchell Farms, because at the time that the North Holly Road project was going on, the township had said we could not use that property. Glenn and Candy Mitchell were kind enough to offer their space. And so we started there, and the current gardeners feel that the process and the soil is excellent. We pay a fee to Glenn and Candy. They provide the porta-john, which we had to pay for out of our, group funds previously. So there's a lot of benefits to doing it. But I know the township would like to start a community garden again at the farmstead. But they're also considering any further development that's going to happen at the farmstead property. So it might be a challenge to start it, and then, once they start development, then they might put in roads, or they might, so it could be I mean, I think it's a great idea. But the soil would need tremendous improvement. I've noticed a great difference between the soil at Mitchell's compared to the township property. But so I think it's possible. But even here, because this used to be a former gravel pit, we would probably consider more raised beds than flat. And I had spoken to somebody up in, I don't think it was Genesee County, but they were offering a program where you might have been able to get through a free grant a hoop house, which would be awesome. However, they're they have to have an established garden already before they would get involved. It's offered through the federal government currently. Who knows what would happen in the future? But if you have an established garden, they could come in after that year and help you to, evaluate your process, help you with this hoop house, even help you with your soil to, make the best that you can. The proviso is that you cannot have raised beds in that process. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
Do the same thing each year. Yeah, yeah, you really got some great example. There's just wonderful examples of
Mhm. Definitely.
just one that's from made problem here. When we walk, I walk and I look at the compost. My own brush that come in the same spot, that's
We need to work on that. That's one of the
we're
agreements that we ought to talk about. I appreciate you mentioning that. Now we definitely it's something that we're looking at, and yeah, we are. I know what you mean. Mhm. Understand. I know. I know.
well, the one thing is it comes spring, because we have that huge wood pile and we do have significant compost still. Uh, if we can get that cleared, then we can be able to publicize that to our residents and be able to use that.
Mm.
And hopefully, Commissioner Hutchins will be willing to
Cool.
get out there and help load a couple weekends. So could do that.
Hmm. 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 The compost is very good. Um, I think it definitely can be used. It's very, very good. So we just got to promote it a little bit more and let the people know that it's out there. We don't have colored stuff.
You're talking two different things.
I know, I know, I know. I'm
You're
sorry.
talking wood chips.
Wood
He's
chips.
talking
I know
mulch.
he's thinking mulch.
So
The mulch is tremendous out there. It is very good. But yeah, the wood chip is different. You're right. Thank you for that clarification. But both, Commissioner. Hmm.
March. Shivers. Killer. I still like all. On the way to Boswell. That was a big deal years ago. Whole came down to the route, and that was one of the biggest syrup festivals in Michigan. So she mentioned bird. Yeah.
Sons.
In my father-in-law. 15 horse English motor dozer trailer to actually fire that big miles. That's some see.
Okay. Let's move right along. I know everybody's anxious. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We will definitely consider. And again, this is the perfect time because we're putting our budget together, and we can look at some of the recommendations, perhaps to acquire some trees and to look at this garden. Come back and do that. So I like the garden idea, but again, it has to go through the commission, and we'll see where we go. But I will do. We'll do our best. Okay, so moving right along to the commission reports. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You have one question? Sorry.
Well, I never said that else. Yeah.
1 foot overhang that's not. So what happens when you look, there's all the snow down, and hits that cold spot, freezes it, and it builds ice skate. So that's why we heat. Yeah, I get that. When I well, might have used by a welding hammer, it's warm enough, it's separated, take it out by plastic. So across through the swamp. So we got the water, so yeah. That's what caused the ice skate.
Okay.
Out there, we only have like a 6-inch overhang. So our ice dam is pretty well used. So you can have all the doors you want, but you gotta put the heat tape. Otherwise, you gotta be up there and split it. I've seen ice dams so bad on houses that I had to get a chainsaw and cut the ice out to bust the eaves out of house.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well,
You know,
Okay.
now that you mentioned that too,
Mhm.
though, one of the things I should say is that, you know, we put that time and effort into and money into doing the drainage in front of here.
Mhm.
And there've been a couple of times where we've had ice, even just in the driveway and that. And so I don't know what else we can or should do about it, but you know, it's a concern when we are thinking of increasing programming and that to have that. And, you know, it seemed like we had a good solution with, you know, clearing out the uh, culverts and, you know, all that type thing, doing the ditching and that. But it apparently is not the full solution to keeping the ice off the front of the nature center.
you install iron. So you have to use come out here, scour the beer to your brain. Scour is a blade equipment that has teeth and breaks up the ends with your rods. So it's just something you live later.
Okay.
And go and it's cheap and you know, like tonight, everything that came down today was gonna freeze and be slippery as shit.
Mm.
So we gotta live with it.
Careful with those words.
Is this runoff from the hill
Yes, some of it.
coming down?
Some of it.
See a lot of early down down for limestone. And a hard sort of shell. So it holds the snow and everything else. So
It turns to ice too.
plow heavy plow, take the gravel off and bring the mud back. So you know, all you need to do is pave it.
Well, I'm not up for paving this nature center. We do not want. Well, just me only. But no, no. Okay. So let's move right along. Let's start with the commission reports. Um, let's start with Commissioner Wright. Commissioner Wright. Okay.
When does the season start?
Going on.
Okay.
I've asked a few times, make sure when there's a to-do list that we're keeping up with, you know, what the field needs and what the
Mhm.
players and then I know the benches look like they were.
Yeah, that's that's gonna be one of our projects. That we're gonna be, I think we'll look here and let it be in the president, again, is plan to come for the meeting.
Okay. Very good. And we'll get the contract too, correct? Okay. Excellent. Let's get that done quickly. Alrighty. Uh, Commissioner Hutchins. Okay. Commissioner Carl. Okay. For me, the only thing I'd like to report again is two things. everything that we've spoke of this afternoon, uh, I think it's good. It shows that we are moving. I know discussions, everybody has ideas and things of that nature, and they're all very good. Um, but we'll need a lot of collaboration. And I'm looking forward to working with other entities to get some of these things done. With the maple, trees, for example, it doesn't have to be here. We can collaborate with other groups to get them, and we can help, promote that. Um, I'd like to see, horseback riding, where we can get the kids to learn how to horseback, and we can work with other entities around this area that have it. So, uh, yeah, and I'm anxious to collaborate with everyone on this garden thing that hopefully we can do this here. Um, Mary and I got all kinds of wood so that you can do the uh, the planters if it's successful. And I appreciate your thoughtfulness on resources and making sure how we do use it financially stuff. And we do have limits here financially. We wish we could do all kinds of things, but obviously we have long ways to go. And that's kind of why I'm hoping with the goals that we can develop exactly what those are. Is it our roads? Is it something to do with our pollution? Is it something to do with recreation? All those things are really good. Operations, things of that nature. It's all key, but we've got to set some strategic plan. How are we going to get there? What are the important things so that we know and we try to focus. The master plan is a part of that. Okay, so so with that, I want to thank everybody for their time, and collaboration is the name of the game for this coming year to help us get to do some new programs, and to thank the staff for doing their hard work and getting us all together here. I don't know what we do without our staff. They've done an amazing job, and our manager, Mayor. I don't know what we do without you. Excellent work these past few months. It's been tough because she does it all many times, and I see it. So thank you, and of course to our commission. We don't agree, but we respectfully disagree, and that's what's key. And that's what's key. So thank you, everybody. If there's no other comments or questions, let me move on to item number 10, which is public comment. And at this time, I'll just read this out. Members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson for the items listed on this agenda only. Comments are limited up to 4 minutes. The commission may extend this time by up to an additional 4 minutes by majority vote. Prior to addressing the commission, members of the public are asked to state their name, street name, and town. Uh, that that being said, is there anyone here from the public that would like to comment? That's okay. I think no. It was the perfect time, and that's exactly what we did. But if you have anything else you want to say, we're here to listen. So you hear it as we're going to do a survey. So okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, hearing none, no more comments. I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 8:44. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. And our next meeting is February 11th, 2026, and we're going to start at 6 p.m. To do the short session on the strategic plan, and then our meeting will start at 6:30 p.m. on the dot. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.